It's time for conference championships. For the third time, Pepperdine at home hosts USC inside Firestone Fieldhouse for the MPSF title. They meet with a bid to the national championship at stake. This tournament's been going on all week long, and it will conclude tonight. A couple of big upsets. The first was Stanford defeating BYU 3-2. USC would dispatch Stanford in last night's semifinal. And the big one, UCLA, the #1 seed, goes down to Pepperdine 3-2. And the Waves at home arrive in the championship. Hi, everybody. Kevin Burnett alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lambourne. Rich, a couple of really young, talented players on both sides of this net. How do young players handle this kind of championship intensity?
You know, winning is a muscle that needs work, right? It's good to get that work in young, but it's anybody's guess as to how the youth is going to respond to this moment. It's going to be great for us to watch.
All right, the youth may respond, but we know for sure that Ryan Barnett, the experienced now junior for Pepperdine, will play a key role.
He's their leader. He was great throughout their semifinal matchup against UCLA, but in particular at the business end, late in the fifth, he got it done, got his team to this final match.
For the USC side, can they slow down the attack? The Pepperdine blocks have been their hallmark all year.
Yeah, it's kind of what they build their defense around, blocking a huge part of the USC Trojans defense. And in particular, Tompkinson is huge, the big fella. He's mobile, great with his hands, quick off the floor. There's a look at the man right there. 7 blocks yesterday against Stanford, looking to put up a similar performance tonight against the Waves.
Both teams have taken the floor. USC sends out what has become a familiar lineup. This should be quite the deal that libero Johnny Dykstra in his freshman season has been nothing short of outstanding. Another freshman talent from whom a lot is expected, Sterling Foley on the outside. Dylan Klein will also carry a ton of the offense for USC. For the Pepperdine side, there is Jacob Riley. He's going to get time with the senior national team this summer, as will Cole Hartke, number 10. Look for that big man on the outside. Another 7-footer.
Another 7-footer. I think Riley should get time on the mustache alone, Kevin.
Jonathan Winder, all-time great Wave, former National Player of the Year and National Champion, graduated here in 2008. He brought his head coaching experience from Fresno State on the women's side on here, and 5 years on the national team. Speaking of the national team, 3 Olympics for Jeff Nygaard, now in his 10th season at the helm for USC, fielding what could be his best ever team. The one-time UCLA star, an Olympian, both indoors and on the beach. We are set to go here inside Firestone Fieldhouse, the final ever MPSF playoff game that will be played in this building, as the Waves will be moving in 2 years' time into the mountain. That is the new facility just up the hill of the campus here in Malibu.
I didn't know the Pepperdine Waves such big fans of Gregor Clegane.
Exactly. Well, you are in the house, Rich. So we have a man with the size and a place named the mountain. Here we go. Dylan Klein will get USC started. Third meeting for these teams in the season. Good pass. Both teams not afraid to feed the middle. Or the opposite, and it's a block on point, on character for USC.
On character. I was going to say that our boy Riley passed the ball great, and we got to look at Hartke, but the big block of SC getting its job done there.
That was Sterling Foley with the one-on-one. Another good pass, middle available, and not a kill, and now it is.
Coach Jonathan,
he gets the start.
Yeah, Coach Jonathan Winder talked to us about wanting to run the middle. Both of these teams going to have a heavy dose of middle attack coming, and especially with that serve pass battle, Winder thinks going their way.
Yeah, Widden, a freshman there in the middle for the Waves. Feeding the middle, the guy getting dug up by Pepperdine. Right side, the big man puts it on the back line.
A great scoop off the top of the tape, and then good communication by the Waves to step in, set a hittable ball to the big fella on the right.
That gave Dyer back to the line, the transfer from UC San Diego. Lone Wave to appear in every match this season. Make it your setter. That's probably a good plan. Outside, that'll be Foley. So defense first, offense second for number 12.
Yeah, hard cross court inside the big block. That is not an easy angle to come up with. Have a look here. Middle's just a touch late, and he fires it inside that block.
Foley starting for CDM. That's Corona Del Mar a year ago before coming to SC. Right side again. This time it's the outside hitter. There he is, Ryan Barnett.
A Barnett wearing the number 14 at Pepperdine, Kevin.
You gotta love that.
That's a great short pass and a quick set.
Barnett has raised his game in this season, moving his hitting percentage up by 55 points and tripling his ace total. Puts the Trojans in trouble here, and he'll stay at the line.
Yeah, not an ace, but a service winner. Credit the difficulty that he created for the SC offense with that serve, Barnett.
4-2, Pepperdine open. Good triple block by the Waves. The Malibu Roofing Company in the house right now. Barnett looking for the back line. It'll be just long.
One of the better all-time nicknames up there with the Purple People Eaters and all that. The Malibu Roofing Company, a great volleyball nickname.
They haven't really been as consistent at the net as in years past. It has been SC that has the advantage in that category in the MPSF. That blast coming from Jack Duker. You'll see him in the 28. Now, if you're holding the roster, it does say 15. He lost his 15 shorts, so he's gone to 28.
I didn't know they let the student athletes handle their own uniforms.
I didn't know that he couldn't get another pair of shorts this season. Bad pass. Duker blocked again. Oh, a little sucker action. Tompkinson. SC running the offense, right side. Roll, shot, put in the middle.
That is a pretty shot from Duker, no matter what number he's wearing, Kevin. The little baby roll into the campfire zone, as Chris Marlowe used to call it.
If you were enjoying the AVP broadcast earlier today, you saw Rich calling a lot of shots just like that. Blast down the line, picked up. Pepperdine on the scramble. SC botches that one.
Pepperdine stealing one there. That's a phenomenal one-arm spear on the service receive just to keep it alive. Then the kind of looser setting rules allowing that you can just run back there and chuck it all the way across the court to your big dog on the right.
By looser setting rules, you mean that there are no rules essentially in the second contact as Hartke goes to the line. Leads himself way in front. Barnett, second contact, keeps it alive. Pepperdine looking to play defense at the net. No. Duker with the kill.
Got caught a little bit inside that time, did Haver. Had to chase it out late. Pretty wide open net for SC to attack.
Jack Duker, originally out of Honolulu, Hawaii, redshirt senior opposite. Surrounded by talented freshmen, including Tompkinson. Smartly done. Eli Haver, the Israeli native, career high 5 kills this season is his high. He's not being called on to do a ton of offense, but when he is, he's there.
Yeah, that's a smart swing too. Taking a little bit off, about 80%, just finding some space in the blocker's hands.
Played alongside Guy Guinness, who hit that ball past on the Israeli national team. He'll be at the line here. That'll be Guinness dug up. And getting the block.
I like the aggressive swing from Barnett. It was kind of a bang-bang play. Thought maybe the block wouldn't be formed. Not the case. SC always ready to put up a wall.
Blanchette stepping in there alongside Guinness to pick up that block on the broken play. Left front pass. Barnett has to hit, and he does, hitting his way out. Came into the fall at the opposite position where he's logged time over the last couple of seasons. Now a 6th rotation outside late in the year.
Yeah, it looks like SC may spend a fair amount of time trying to pick on his serve receive, but that's an excellent swing to swing his way out of it, and a great set from Dyer on the run through.
Head coach Jonathan Winder saying he's been impressed with Barnett holding up in receive. Will he hold up tonight? Pressure from the Trojans. And both teams, Rich, not afraid to feed the middle consistently.
Yeah, I mean, up big is Guinness there, ready to detonate, and the perfect pass just allows it all to happen.
Blanchette and Dyer will find the middle, even from 15 feet off the net. Bad pass, Barnett with a save. And the third contact does not get there. Point USC, we're tied here at 8.
Yeah, that's one of those ones you're scrambling just to keep it alive, and then you end up getting too much fist on it. It goes all the way across the court. Pepperdine can't track it down.
Pepperdine lost almost every statistical category last night against UCLA. save service errors as USC gives one there. 28 service errors over 5 sets, but got 15 aces at UCLA. And Pepperdine won the score. That was the other big one that they won.
Yeah.
The only one that matters. 6 service errors for the Trojans in the 5th set alone. Helped Pepperdine maintain their first ball side out percentage, and they won 25-23, 16-14 to advance. A match that went all the way until 8:45 or 8:15 local, pushing USC's match to 8:45 start. Outside of their opposite in row 1, and that will find just enough. Hartke out of Barrington, Illinois. MPSF Freshman of the Year.
And he's just taking that high left side set and beating it down onto the top of the block. Even as big as Tompkinson is up there.
Barnett gonna have to lean into this one, and he does, but it's long.
Nice job by Dykstra getting out of the way of that. Man, it's impressive. Dykstra playing a great game, and he looks like he's about 12 years old out there.
Hey, easy on the guys that look young.
Well, that bodes for his commentating future, Kevin.
Nice move. Good reception, and even better side out. Tremendous point from Eli Haber.
A little fire to the crowd. Keeping up the tradition of Israeli outsides. Along Grinberg, way back in the day here at Pepperdine. Kind of the pioneer at that position.
Man, Rich reaching into the Wayback Machine for that one. Alon Grinberg, member of the 1992 championship squad here for the Waves. There's a block, it'll be saved. Push over, Waves in transition. The other category they won. Haber, another kill. That's 3 in this first set. He averages just a half per set.
Yeah, he's picking up his game here, giving a little fire to the crowd and also his team. He'll force a timeout, it looks like.
So the Waves are going to take a lead here early in set 1. As USC will utilize their first challenge. Jeff Nygaard picking up the green card. Jonathan Winder gets a chance to talk to his squad as we send our R2, Bill Forrester, into the replay booth.
I'm not sure what we're challenging here. A lift? Can you challenge that?
No challenging lift. Could be in or out. Could be a net touch.
It's got to be that, because that ball wasn't questionably in or out. It was rattling off the SC defenders, was it not?
We're still awaiting word from our officials as to the official challenge. That is not challengeable, whether it's a lift or not. You make the call at home.
Yeah, it did look like something happened at the net, but hard to believe that Guinness followed through into the net. SC thinks otherwise, obviously.
Called for Pepperdine. In any case, it does break the momentum of the Pepperdine Waves. 19-9 on the year, 7-5 in the MPSF. I think a lot of people did not have them beating UCLA last night, who's been the class of the conference. So looking for a net violation there on that block before the transition would be my best guess here.
Yeah, the good news is the replays take long enough that we can show you every possible action of that replay. Oh, wow, it is determined that Guinness was into the net, perhaps.
In any case, USC ball and very little argument from the Pepperdine Waves. So moving forward.
Let's see if we can detect any guilty looks on the faces of any Waves.
We'll unwind the score, rewind it, and it's French fries on the board here in the first.
For all you volleyball karma lovers, you're at home somewhere saying the ball never lies.
Indeed. These two teams playing for an MPSF title. By all accounts, their only route into the national championship. No at-large for either of these two as that ball is fed to Tompkinson in the middle. Parker Tompkinson, second team All-MPSF, all-freshman team, leading in blocks and 10th nationally in that statistics, blocks per set.
Yeah, how about the pass from Dykstra on that good serve from Hartke?
Nice overhand reception by Barnett, and that will feed the middle as well. Count that one for Ethan Watson out of Sunnyvale, California. Redshirt sophomore middle blocker.
Duker getting a little buzz cut on that one off the dome.
That'll put Haber back to the line. He's had an outstanding first set. We're only halfway through. Nice serve down the line, puts a little pressure on USC. Klein elevates, covers himself. Duker with the power wrist away.
That is a tremendous set to get that all the way to the right side to the point where your big opposite can go line with it. That push right there from Sterling Foley.
Neither team able to escape here in set one. A little hybrid causing trouble for the Waves. Haber blocked. Dylan Klein with the stuff. Their first lead since 1-0 in this set comes at 14-13.
I like the aggressive swing that Haber decides to make, but a little bit overextended perhaps that time.
That ball's going to be just long. Klein having an outstanding junior campaign, averaging almost 4.5 points per set. Number one on the outside and one of the big jumpers in the conference.
There's quite a few of them. I don't know what's gotten into kids these days, Kevin, but they can fly.
Waves digging in, digging up. Let's see where to go. There it is. Klein on the right side, and he'll chop it and miss.
Tried to wiggle out.
Neither team able to get away. Technical timeout reached. 15-14. Home side, Pepperdine Waves.
Everyone has a ritual. That small thing to keep us focused.
To clear our minds and elevate.
Right now, get $4 off a Big Ten Plus monthly subscription and stream the remainder of the non-televised spring season. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to Big10Plus.com to subscribe. And make sure you enter Spring 4 when selecting a monthly pass at checkout to take advantage of this offer. We're back at Firestone Fieldhouse. Set one action. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn. Tight first set here, Rich. What do you think balances it out for one team's favor here in the first?
Yeah, it's a good question, Yo. We've seen a lot of what these teams want to do as far as blocking and so forth. I think if either side can steady out a little bit in the serve receive, that's going to make a big difference.
That ball banged off the head of Cole Hartking.
There's kind of a look at a perfect pass offensive sequence there.
Klein back to serve. Ace service, number one.
That always helps as well, Kev. If you can get one to skip off the tape and kind of confound the great libero.
Had two aces against Stanford. He logs his first here tonight in the championship. Another perfect pass for the Waves. They'll go long distance, and that one will find the ceiling. Still good. Part of the entertainment of playing in Firestone.
Wow.
Set to the corner by Barnett is legal. That wasn't legal when you and I played.
It wasn't, you know, that may have been legal, the two-handed set. SC kind of complaining that maybe it was a little bit behind his head, perhaps.
As long as it's clean,
yeah,
not a lift or a double, you're all right.
Crafty play by Barnett, either way.
Patrolling the back line. Waves come up with another opportunity, but the joust ball is won by the Trojans.
Yeah, Dyer a little upset with himself there. Big chance again on a tough serve, getting the Trojans out of system. Essentially a free ball opportunity, and that missed set right there cost Pepperdine the chance at a point.
17-16 USC. Service miss by Josh Friedman, setter out of Newport Beach, who regularly subs in with serving duties. Guinness will come back in. They'll trade it for the libero position. Dykstra in service reception, middle back. Ace service there for Barnett, who missed his last two.
Yeah, he fixes it. However, and look at SC in the four-man service reception posturing. That can work against you at times in a situation like that, because now you have more seams that Barnett can attack.
Well, he attacks that seam and gets USC to use their timeout here in the first set. First timeout called by USC. Barnett has tripled up the number of aces he's had in a season. What a campaign it has been. But he's looking for a title right now. Set one victory would have been part of the way there. Volleyball on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Of course, a lot of people contacting their insurance companies this year in California along this coast. The Franklin fire greatly affecting Pepperdine and the students here before, of course, the Palisades fire a month later affecting both of these teams. Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Barnett alongside Rich Lamborn, watching Dylan Klein kill the ball out of the back row.
And there's a look at good reception versus not good reception. Dykstra handles that bomb of a serve perfectly. SC can do whatever they want, and set Klein is what they elect to do.
Both teams siding out well over 75%. Barnett, good pass, stepping in. And again, it is Haber on the outside. What a first set for Eli Haber, third kill.
Runching down the line again. Perfect pass offense gives a setter lots of options.
All right, I pulled the third kill there off of the official scoreboard. I'm going to go with 4. I think they're going to have to go back and amend the results. Ryan Graves into serve. Pardon me. Aiden Toon cranking that one. A second-generation Pepperdine athlete. Father Rick Toon playing in our era there. Rich Lamborn, shortly after my time here in Malibu.
Awesome.
Aiden out of the Punahou School, the volleyball factory in Honolulu, Hawaii. Tight to the net, perfect pass, tipped over. Picked up underneath. Where's this one going to go? The big man on the right, Hartke. Another good touch for USC. Dykstra making it happen. Coverage knuckled over. Hartke blocked right back.
Blocking on display from both sides, but it's ultimately the big wall of the Trojans that shut down Hartke on the right.
Little 3-1 run for USC out of the timeout.
Tompkinson closed well, but it was Klein that made that great move into that seam.
Pepperdine is going to use as a challenge here. Already saw Jeff Nygaard win one here in the first set. Jonathan Windu issuing his first. Jeff Nygaard was an assistant coach before becoming the head. Jonathan Winder was at Fresno State on the women's side. They went from Marv Dunphy, the legendary head coach here at Pepperdine University.
It's interesting to see these kind of next wave of coaches come through. We had the Carl McGowans where I went to school, the Marv Dunphys where you went to school here at Pepperdine, kind of have these tremendous legacies. And, you know, is a Jeff Nygaard, is a Jonathan Winder kind of building that at their respective schools? You hope so. Both great guys, both great coaches, and two great programs.
David Hunt, of course, succeeded Marv Dunphy before Jonathan Winder taking over as Hunt went back to the women's side down in Texas for the Longhorns, winning a national title there. As the Pepperdine Waves are packing in Firestone Fieldhouse. It's a very small environment. I wondered how much USC might be affected by the fact that this gym is so different than USC's Galen Center or Pauley Pavilion.
Yeah, luckily they had a few matches leading up to this to kind of acclimate, but there is a difference, I feel like, that doesn't get spoken about a lot, and just kind of the optics. When you feel a little more, a little tighter, let's say, a little more packed in. Sometimes some of these serves seem like they're getting on you all the quicker. It's pretty wild. It can wreak havoc. And then, of course, the low ceiling.
Do you prefer a large arena for service reception or a small gym?
I tended to like a larger arena, I think. For some reason, it just, I don't know, felt like you had more room to operate. It didn't feel like everything was kind of getting on you so quickly.
Waves are going to move to a bigger competition facility inside the mountain that'll seat about 4,000 people and have a jumbotron in the middle. And that will happen in the 2027 season. It will open in late 26. So out of the missed serve there, you can again claim that the ball didn't lie. 15 ties in this first set. Largest lead at 2. Someone's going to have to win by just that. Klein elevates. That'll be transitioned by the Waves. Too far. Left for Barnett out of the back row.
And then he goes and does something like that, Kevin, and totally redeems himself for the overpass on the free ball.
And giving some credit to his setter, Gabe Dyer.
Absolutely.
A lot of these players set the log time with the U21 or U23 teams. U19, of course, coming up through the junior ranks for USA Volleyball. A lot of transition happening with that organization and the men's national team. Karch Karai, the legendary Karch Karai, having just taken over the program. Hard key, hard to the line. Cut shot, this time into the net. Waves with another point. They lead by 2.
Critical miss that time from Dugal, who's been fantastic, hitting 7-14 up until that point, 5 for 7. But that mistake stings a little bit. You know, not all statistics created equally, Kevin.
Their first 3-0 run ends in a timeout for the Trojans. All right, Jonathan Winder, we were just talking about his experience here in Malibu. Won a national title in 2005, Player of the Year in 07, graduated in 08, and Olympian in 2012. And then on the other side, a guy who was a setter in Jonathan Winder. On the other side, a guy who fancies himself a setter, Jeff Nygaard, played middle blocker. 3-time Olympian, 2 times indoors. Second time in 2000, 2004, he was on the beach alongside Dane Blanton, who was a Pepperdine alumni. And the single season record, 650 kills, 2-time Player of the Year, this time in Westwood before switching colors.
I mean, that is a tremendous resume that Nygaard had. And he did have some excellent paws for a man of his size.
That is one of the things that can take you to the beach. Anyone coming out to try and join that game, the first question is, can they set? As the crowd has brought their A game in support of Ethan Watson and Pepperdine. Trojans traveling fairly well on the parental side. Long journey these days to get up here to Pepperdine University. PCH closed after the horrendous fires as well as the mudslides that have afflicted this area. A little bit of rain today. I think everyone a little on edge and happy to pay attention to volleyball in the afternoon under clear skies. Another tough serve. Waves looking for a 4-0 run. They have a chance. They go to the middle. And this time it'll get called. Is that a makeup call?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it may be because, I mean, it definitely came out of his hands oddly. But I don't know. I mean, a double call on that is a bit of an interesting call. He kind of,
yeah,
I don't know, double paintbrushed it, I guess.
In the replay, I like it. The double now allowed on the second contact. Almost anything goes except for a lift. But on the third contact, you may not double it at the opponent.
Okay.
I like that call. Middle, feed, dug up. SC conservative. Pepperdine not. But it's another big block on the left-hand side. Dylan Klein is having himself a good start.
Yeah, he is not necessarily perfectly dialed in offensively just yet, but over there against Big Hartke, important for him to set that block, and it's his third.
Yeah, Klein already his third block. Outstanding. Pepperdine timeouts. The teams have exchanged runs here late, and we end up in the exact same place we've been for a while in this first set, which is tied. It's deuces wild. A race to 3, win by 2. We look forward to the NCAA championship, which will conclude on May 12th with the national title match. It's a Monday this year. Look at the national picture. USC has certainly figured in that a number of landmark victories for them. They come in at number 5. Pepperdine coming in at number 8 in the latest poll.
Yeah, I think both coaches feel like this is their chance to get into the NCAA championships. However,
yeah, this is it.
Those couple teams ahead of them for the at-large bid, it looks like an at-large bid outside chance at best for the loser of this match.
Now, if you talk to a few people here, the consensus is that UCLA is going to get one. Despite their loss in the semifinals to Pepperdine, it will be UCLA receiving one of those bids, and the other bid will go to either Long Beach or Hawaii. Whoever loses that final match for the automatic qualifying teams, which is happening at 10 p.m. Pacific time. And if you're not able to calculate it, it's currently 8 p.m. over here, so 2 hours till that match starts out on the islands.
I'm not in love with that it's, you know, body of work throughout the season. You know, I like what have you done for me lately, a little Janet Jackson style on who's going to get the at-large bid.
Bad pass for the Waves, trying to hit their way out. That roll shot is not going to do it. Klein trying to roll, makes an error instead. So conservatism not paying off for either side.
And that was pretty impressive vision from Riley to kind of crash for the tip and see that that was going to go wide.
Waves 23, Haver at the line.
Yeah, Pepperdine, quite frankly, a little lucky to wiggle out of that situation after a couple bad receptions in a row. They were staring down being in a deficit.
USC fans trying to get a little noise going. Haver rips it long. Put a cap on the national picture. USC, tough one for them. They have defeated the NEC champ, that's Damon, and they have also defeated Penn State twice, who won the EIVA earlier today. Yet they will not receive an at-large, is the consensus. They're going to have to earn it. A championship match here with true national implications. Good dig. They'll keep it going. Waves in system. Outside. Barnett. No. Do you go back to Barnett? Yes. He'll push it off the block and down.
That's fair. I mean, so much happened in that rally. Some great defense. There was a little kind of, oh, look at what I found under one arm from Dylan Klein over by the signage over on the far side, but it was Barnett ultimately with that throw tip off the outside hand of the USC block.
Barnett's 5th kill has Pepperdine with their first set point. Leaning into it, that one will find no part of the ceiling. Barnett's outside, he'll get it again, 3rd straight swing. Pushed it through, that'll have to go over. Have to swing to win. Bang, bang play, right side. SC fighting it off. Just enough from Klein. Overtime here in set 1.
How about the defense? Number 9, Caleb Blanchett on the line a couple times on Barnett, digging some heat. Keeping the Trojans alive in this one.
Klein's 3rd kill. He is only just now into positive territory, and he is also at the line. Already with some aces. Barnett chipping off the edge again.
That's a little bit of a veteran swing right there, Kevin. Just taking a little bit off, kind of finding some space in between the arms of the blockers. Have a look. Those kind of high off the hands of Duker.
Wave, 2nd chance to close. No. Yes, still alive. Off the foot. No challenge from USC. A block from the Waves wins the set.
Are you kidding me? What a way to end an otherwise unbelievable set. The little, oh my goodness, foot dig.
Well, Jeff Nygaard has the green card in hand. And he wants a challenge. So that ball up or down will be the question here.
He's going to challenge it. I do not think he's going to win. That looked clean in real time, Kevin.
Oh, that'll put Bill Forrester right back into the replay booth here with the first set hanging in the balance. Will USC stay alive, or are we moving to the second? Pepperdine up 1-0.
Yeah, graphics saying that Nygaard challenging a net fault maybe on that final block. Looked like there was a lot of ball into the net, but have a look here. Yeah, that's the ball off the top of the tape. The Pepperdine Waves look pretty clean.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rich. That ball was clean.
There's the foot. Yeah, I mean, if anything, it looked like SC is into the net there. How about Hartke tracking that foot dig down and getting back to take care of his blocking responsibilities?
And putting that ball over. Very well could have been a third touch off of that play. A bang-bang weirdo play could be the end of this first set. And could have the Pepperdine Waves coming from the #4 spots to leading 1-0 in the championship match. Forrester has made his decision. We await
We're just
his
waiting
signal.
for him to notify everybody.
And it is Pepperdine. Pepperdine retains the point and the win. Neither team led by more than 2 points, but Pepperdine led at the right time. They finished set 1 with the victory, 26-24. Set 2 on the way. Men's Volleyball Conference Championship weekend continues. Pepperdine up 26-24 in the first. They lead 1-9. So April now, but we're planning here July 12th. The BTN Big 10K returns to Soldier Field in Chicago. Scan that QR code or register right now at btnbig10k.com to be a part of the 10K or the 5K and the post-race tailgate party. You want to do that in Chicago, my hometown. All right, looking at our stats in a very competitive set number 1. 18 ties, largest lead 2. Pepperdine with it. What stuck out for you, Rich Lamborn?
Yeah, it was kind of what the big sticks did for both teams. Duker was great early, hitting over 700, but then he kind of cooled late a little bit for the Trojans. And Dylan Klein just hitting 083 in that first set. But on the flip side, Hartke held a 0 hitting percentage. He's got to pick that up a little bit for his Waves. Fortunately, Barnett pretty good at 364, but he'd like to elevate that a little bit. You talked about how he raised his percentage 55 points on the season. He'd love to do that here in set number 2.
So Jeff Nygaard's team had a slight deficit, but 1-0 nevertheless in Firestone Fieldhouse here in Malibu, California. Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn. As Pepperdine Waves will get us started on the left-hand side of your screen. That ball looked like it hit the ground, and it's out of bounds anyway. We start with an ace from Eli Haber.
Dirty start right there from Eli. What a great serve that was. That is so deceptive. And even a libero as good as Dykstra can't catch up to it.
Second ace of the match for the Waves. From the roll to the power. Right side. Nobody up, and that is advantage USC. Pepperdine's last MPSF title was in 2022 for the Trojan side. They last won in 2009, pardon me. They last participated in the championship match in 2019, and that was against Pepperdine. They lost that one. As that middle attack is fed in, Ethan Watson picks up the kill. Career high 11 kills against UCLA.
And zipping that ball in from the 3-meter line. Talked about both these setters wanting to push the middle from just about everywhere they can.
Bad pass, too tight. Waves block there again. That went over the top and down. So far, the Pepperdine Waves have kind of matched the net defense of USC, where they traditionally have had the advantage in this season.
Yeah, some really disciplined blocking. We called them the Malibu Roofing Company. They're doing their best to uphold that title.
Yeah, they haven't done it in total stops, but they've had a lot of controls and touches. Duker blasts into the net. SC taking a lot of risk from the line. That'll be his 7th service error for the Trojans. Dykstra, perfect pass, but it's right back defense from Gabe Dyer, nearly had to pick up.
Yeah, great read from Dyer, just kind of bounces off his arms weirdly and doesn't sit in the bottom of the net for his teammates to retrieve it. There's the great read, but it just sneaks underneath.
Head coach Jonathan Winder having so many good things to say about number 3 in blue, Gabe Dyer, his 5th-year senior setter, transferred from UCSD. Said he's steady, kind of that dynamic right-back defender, and super efficient to the middle.
Now, one of the ways you can set yourself apart as a setter, playing some good D.
Waves are there. That'll be 2 touches and a double called. Ron Pelham with the call from the R1.
Again, SC forcing the middle from some distance off the net. Working out.
Tompkinson, he will go hybrid sometimes. That's a pure float there. And the Waves side out efficiently. Haver, 4th kill.
Yeah, Haver is feeling it tonight. You talked about how he's not necessarily a huge part of the Waves offense, but tonight he is bringing it every opportunity he gets.
Confusion for SC in reception. They get a perfect pass anyway. Speaking of confusion, that'll be an easy lift call.
Yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate. There, another great dig. A pancake, hitting a spatula out there.
Yeah, they're letting a lot of things go these days, but they're still not letting middles do that. Haver, decent pass. Dykstra, nice read, elevation by Klein. And Dylan Klein, I really like the way he elevates. It's so vertical.
Yeah, well, especially you can see that set gets shot all the way tight to the net and high, so he can just go up and use that vertical jump to his advantage, going hard inside the block.
There's the middle attack into the gap area as that ball was passed to the left side.
A little better connection that time. Some of the long distance shoots that they're trying to run, they're not quite connecting as crisply as they would like.
Give your Jeff Nygaard, you want to see a little more help on that play from your pin blocker. 6-6, set 2. Another good pass by Dykstra. Guinness is dug. Back row, Barnett, got it.
Well, but there's a great pickup defensively for the Waves and good transition offense. No confusion that time. If I'm Pepperdine, I think far too many balls right now going at Dykstra from the service line. We're serving the libero a little too much, I think. Test some of the outside, see if we can't disrupt them a little bit.
Great call. We'll see if they move it around. No, it goes right to Dykstra. Decent pass, not great. And that ball does not find hands. It'll be another point for the Waves.
So there is the potential drawback to that straight up and down jump you were talking about, Kevin. If the ball gets a little bit behind you, changes the trajectory, he sends that one wide.
8-6, 3-0 run, Waves. Jonathan Winder highlighted Pepperdine's transition offense. That was one other category they won, although just barely by 20 percentage points over UCLA last night. There is some more transition.
Oh,
but it is USC with the thump. Sharp and sharper.
If you follow the Trojans on Instagram, you've seen things like that out of Dylan Klein a few times, and there's another one to add to the reel.
And be on that U21 team this year. That is an easy serve. Can Pepperdine take advantage? No, they cannot. It is the block, left side. And number 12, Sterling Foley, sending it back.
I wonder, that set probably a little bit too low for Hartke on the right side. Coach Jonathan Winder earlier today likened him a little bit to Big Clay Stanley, who needs a high set so he can use that big body and extend.
If you're going to get compared to someone, make it Clay Stanley.
Yeah, if you're an opposite, that is a fantastic comparison to draw, but a lot to live up to at the same time.
Clay Stanley, 2008 gold medalist, widely considered the best opposite in the world for a number of years around that time. The scariest serve on the planet. Put the great Brazilian teams on the defense in that Olympic final, in which Rich Lamborn and Clay Stanley would play critical roles. Back row, another kill for Haber. He is just feeling it.
Feeling it from the service line, feeling it from the pipe, feeling it from the front left. Where is he not feeling it, ladies and gentlemen?
Haber cuts it. No good. So Haber, part of that expansive use of the roster by Jonathan Winder this year. They have played every available player has a start on the season due to a variety of injuries. In fact, every outside hitter has gotten a start at that position.
Well, it's good when you get to this point in the season to have that kind of data to go to who you want to put out on the floor.
Well, it's one of the reasons that Ryan Barnett ended up on the outside. He began at the opposite spot again in the fall, but then got to the outside. This entire group has played a huge role for the Waves. USC, very similar. They were missing Dylan Klein as well as Jack Duker down the stretch in April. Spent much of that season, or pardon, much of that month without their optimal lineup and coming together just in time to make a run. As USC misses another serve and finds themselves with double digits in terms of service errors, 10 to Pepperdine's 5. Both teams with 2 aces.
Yeah, a lot of those coming in this set, Kevin, kind of 50-50, but we're only at 11-10 in this set, so too many. There's another one from SC. You hate to see that if you're the Trojan coaching staff, but at the same time, you go, we're only down 2. Considering all the service errors, we can kind of thank our lucky stars.
Fed into the middle, awkward angle. Barnett, single arm. Little reset play. Where do you go? Back to the left side. Big swing from the 6'5", right side attack. 8 kills now for Ryan Barnett.
And that's a little upper chest music for Duker down the line. Love that play early on from Hartkey to just go high into the block. You called it a reset. Great heads-up play from the big opposite.
Duker roll, not going to get it done. Hartkey, big wind up, and did not get enough. Coverage, small plays being made on both sides. Hartkey will set it over. That could have been a double. The ball's out of bounds. Both sides, maybe with something to complain about with the hands on the third contact. What a dig by Jacob Riley in the middle of that.
And this chase down there from Klein as well. Huge to keep that alive for the Trojans. Yeah, that's one of those unfortunate ones where both your Libra and your setter crash for the pancake, and then there's nobody there once they get it.
Have a little contact here. Looks like we'll clean up a little bit of blood on the uniform there for number 6, Jacob Riley out of Cypress, Texas, not known as a hotbed for boys volleyball. Fantastic for girls volleyball. So much talent coming out of that state. Originally played at Concordia Irvine before transferring all MPSF second team as the primary libero this season for the Waves.
Yeah, and as you said at the top of the broadcast, getting some looks from the senior national team this summer, so fantastic for him. We used to call little blood on the jersey or the shorts heart stains. Leaving heart stains on the floor. It's out there.
Foley back to serve. Both liberos just nails the moment and making plays. Libero to libero, back to the middle, and the libero once again, Dykstra. Another contact, quality, and a high vertical elevation by number 1, Dylan Klein. He likes to get under the ball and go straight up. He might have a future on the beach.
Yeah, you're very right. And it's kind of in the ilk of Argentina. That's how they used to do it, particularly in transition. Just throw the ball up almost 50-50 and let your high flyers go get it.
Speaking of going and get it. Ooh, hard key. Yeah, I was thinking about Francois Cuminetti. Is that right? I'm trying to remember his exact first name.
Francois
Cuminetti, he looked like a vampire, but he just absolutely killed at the opposite spot. Dykstra, another dime. Way overhead, too long. Off the contact, Waves +3. And that'll be the technical timeout for the second time in 2 sets. Pepperdine leads. This time it is by 3. Jonathan Winder and the staff feeling good at home. See live final round coverage in the 2025 Big Ten Men's Golf Championships tomorrow at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. For the Pepperdine Waves, Ryan Barnett has been a force, and he has been that in this match. He has 8 kills now, hitting .429.
That's a good clip, and kind of out of our big guns that we talked about at the beginning of this match. He's certainly playing the best from a hitting efficiency standpoint thus far. And
living his best life. He's going to graduate with an undergrad degree next Saturday and move into graduate school for his final season here in Malibu. That ball is off the block, and another kill for Dylan Klein, who's starting to heat up a little bit now, 7 of 17.
Yeah, just the dynamicism of his jumping ability is impressive to watch.
Nice slide move back there by Riley. That'll be another Pepperdine kill, and again, it's Haber.
Yeah, I think far too many serves both ways kind of going at these very talented liberos for both teams.
I don't think anyone had Haber with a season-high 6 kills and hitting .444 in the MPSF Championship. Player that's only played 13 matches so far this season.
Good day to have a good day, Kevin.
Indeed. Aiden Toon back on. Waves slow the Trojans initially. Guinness dug by Toon. Middle back. Barnett with a kill. Toon and Barnett making plays. It's a different era here at Pepperdine.
What is this, 1997? And that's a great pickup from Toon, coming in, making an impact.
Father Rick going all the way to the national title in 1998, lost to UCLA at Hawaii. The younger Toon ripping another one. Trying to punch it into the hands, did not find them. Another point for Pep.
Just missed that. I like the idea behind the shot, but can't find the range. And SC will have to call a timeout, down 5.
Jeff Nygaard and USC feeling the home crowd here in the title match. Biggest lead of the match, Pepperdine. Here inside Firestone Fieldhouse, Kevin Barnett, Rich Lamborn in the mayhem as the home side gets excited about a potential trip to the National Championship Tournament to be held in Columbus, Ohio in 2 weeks' time. About 10 days to get started. They have their biggest lead of the match, 18-13, 5-1 scoring run by the Waves, causing some changes on the side of USC. Marcus Olson, 6'9" middle blocker in for SC in the front row. They'll go right to him. Free ball coming. Middle back again. Toon and Barnett playing the same roles for another point for the Waves.
Yeah, Toon doing a fantastic job off the bench. Not an easy task. Kind of shades of SC assistant coach Gary Sato's brother, Eric, coming off the bench and lighting up jump serve, playing some defense for the USA.
6-1 run. Toon doing work. That one's long. Good service run by number 17.
If you can get 3 reels out of your serving sub, you're very, very happy.
Back to the bench, but good work done, his team leading. Right side to the big man. Not enough of it yet. Into the middle in the gap. This time, the SC block is there. Duker blast. Did he get hands? Yes, he did. At least the referees are saying he got some hands. And I think clarification for Jonathan Winder coming via Ethan Watson, his middle blocker.
Just saving us all a bit of time on a challenge. Topping to the touch.
Tough hybrid serve from Blanchette. Blanchette with the dig, Dykstra. Boy, just go high and tight, let Dylan Klein feast.
Yeah, and that's a great set from Dykstra, knowing what his big number one, Dylan Klein, wants. He wants that tight, high ball so he can elevate and make things happen over the block.
Pepperdine with that long run. Now USC responding with a little mini run, and Jonathan Winder trying to put a stop to that quickly.
Some effective changes on the floor for Coach Nygaard. Switch in the middle, good things happen. Give your team a little bit of a different texture out there.
Yeah, Olsen came in and took a swing immediately, and I believe covered a ball as well in that rally and the run. So a berth into the national championship at stake here. The national picture looks like this, so much of it decided today. In fact, all but the at-larges will be decided today. Penn State in the EIVA 3-0 over regular season champion Princeton. So Penn State headed to yet another national tournament. Ohio State at Loyola. Loyola coming out victorious 3-0 there. Congratulations to the Ramblers. The Conference Carolinas saw Belmont Abbey win in straight sets in Bristol, Tennessee over Mount Olive. The NEC, that's the Northeast Conference, first ever automatic qualifier for the conference this year into the men's tournament. David repeats as champion, and they will go to the national championship. And Fort Valley State in the SIAC, back-to-back champs. Coach Larry Rather doing so much good work there, the Ball State alum, who was coaching at Charleston before taking over and building up that Fort Valley program. Love the participation from the SIAC with the HBCUs. Our match here in Malibu, the next to last match in terms of the automatic qualifiers. Pepperdine with the early lead. Long Beach and Hawaii will meet in the Big West title coming up in Hawaii. Waves trying to side out. They'll get a second shot at it here. They'll find the middle. Dykstra, another good play. Klein, that ball's coming right back to him. And he puts it away.
Took him almost the entirety of that rally to recover himself after running into the hole. But he does just in time and sneaks that between the arms of the blockers in the net. Yeah, Haver just a little late getting over there.
So a challenge called by Pepperdine off of that USC point would have us at 19-17. Trojans and Dylan Klein, you see they're testing out that right leg. They have had some problems with both Klein and Duker. I asked Jeff Nygaard about that, about his star players, and he said, well, tell me a team, tell me a player who's played substantial time this year that isn't a little banged up come April.
It's a long season. Lots of physicality in this sport, so it takes its toll.
These teams begin practice usually the beginning of September or maybe mid-month, and then they have a short fall season where they'll play a number of tournaments. USC generally hosts a couple of those, and they finish up kind of just before Thanksgiving time, maybe a week out, and then come back and start practice for the season right after Christmas as the challenge is successful. A net violation called against Marcus Olsen, number 20.
Yeah, that's big for Pepperdine because they were reeling a little bit. Their 5-point lead had dwindled down to 2 had that gone through for the Trojans.
Instead, Pepperdine finds themselves +4, already leading 1-0. Waves tough at home. Bartkey going to the jumper. Got it on the back line.
Is that Roy Hickey? Little knuckleball right up the seam.
Tom Candiotti finds it. Timeout, USC. Pepperdine with the right music in the right moment in the second set. 21-16 off their third service ace. Willie the Wave has never found shades that fit around his head, so he just has them on the front of his face. 21-16. He's feeling the flow and doing the bull dance here at Pepperdine. They lead by 5, and that takes us to our State Farm State of Success. Ryan Barnett delivering for the Waves.
Delivering now at 15 straight matches with 10-plus kills, Kevin. We're not even all the way through set number 2 here in this one. He is lighting it up for his team.
He's been doing it in a variety of different ways. You see him chiseling there or hitting it hard out of the back row. The State Farm State of Success brought to you by State Farm. So far, going to Pepperdine and number 14. Hartke off the ace. And the timeout. Leans into it. Waves, another shot. Where do you go? Barnett, got it.
Dyer knows to feed the hot hand, and Barnett is without a doubt the hot hand for the Waves. He has been untouchable out of the pick.
And they will unwind that sub there now. Jeff Nygaard taking out Olsen and putting Guinness back in the front row. Blanchette not participating in that block, leaving some open space. Will they go back to that again in transition? Waves looking for another. No, defense at the net this time. Denied by Watson.
That set was kind of in that zone that Dylan Klein likes it, but I think maybe just a touch tight for Duker out there on the left.
Waves, another run.
Great press there for Dyer, and close as well from Watson.
So Duker now will exit. Changes made. Christian Connell will come in. He's had a number of good matches this year for USC. Another one of that talented freshman class in downtown LA. Hartke keeps SC off the net. They'll go right to Connell. Barnett setting this time. Haber, no. Right idea.
Right idea. I think he jumped a bit early, so he didn't have enough of the momentum and therefore the push to go into that block and off.
That looked like a good set for Klein.
Yeah.
Not as good a set for Haber. Nevertheless, Waves with a good advantage. Paintbrush in the middle. Looking like Chris Jacobson there. Missed contact and out of bounds. Sorry, CJ.
Yeah. It's all right. He did better things with his hands later on in his career. The chef hat on.
That one into the net, and the Waves have reached a set point.
Kind of in the story here in set number 2, the service errors, but the errors in general for the Trojans really biting them in the hind end, as it were.
Matt Mazur comes in. Blocking for the Waves. Haber at the line. For the set. Nearly had it off the serve. Long distance. Oh, bounced right back into play. Home court advantage. Does not play. Another nasty angle, this time from Bowling. So Mazur will check back out. Gabe Dyer will return. Second opportunity to close here for the Waves.
Doing his best Dylan Klein impression. Foley out there on the left.
Barnett in the front row. He'll get it. Right side, dug up. The block did not get it. Waves have done some blocking in this set. Jeff Nygaard's crew scoring a couple here. How critical will that be for their momentum in the third set?
Yeah, they need to generate something on their side, so every little point counts.
Guinness. Barnett has that one right up on him. Right side, tight. Free ball coming. Turn and burn. Gabe Dyer with the left-handed winner.
A little sneak attack there. Nobody expecting that, but Dyer on top of it. Great free ball pass. Get it done for Pepperdine.
A little hero zero moment for Gabe Dyer. Pepperdine doing it himself to finish off. He'll collect his first swing, first kill, and Pepperdine will collect the second set. They lead 2 sets to none. The Waves looking for an MPSF title and a trip to the national tournament. Tomorrow, softball comes your way when the 7th-ranked Bruins square off with the Wolverines in Ann Arbor. Live coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. We are in Malibu this evening, and it has been all home side. Pepperdine Waves through 2 sets. They lead 2 sets to none. Kevin Barnett, Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn, taking a look at the stats through 2.
Yeah, I mean, the one we've highlighted there, the service errors, and like we talked about at the end of set number 2, the errors in general. Neither team hitting very good in a percentage standpoint, but yeah, SC really kind of shooting themselves in the foot, making too many mistakes, giving freebies to the Waves. They've got to clean that up if they hope to get back in this match.
Ryan Barnett with 11 kills, hitting .474, leads the Waves offensively. And he's not only good at volleyball. If you're looking for other talents, Rich, for your Saints and Sinners tournament, if you want to get a Barnett on your side, he's the one. He crushes the Brian Ellers golf tournament every year, the annual fundraiser for the men's volleyball team. There's a look at the young man. Having quite a season. Asked Jonathan Winder about him. I said, what's the difference here with all the raised stats, triple the aces, raising the hitting percentage, really being so impactful? He said, look, he invested in himself. He did the work necessary, and it's great to see all that paying off.
Yeah, everyone kind of has a different timeline, right? Everybody kind of figures it out at different times. So maybe this was just the year for Barnett. It certainly appears that way.
Yeah, one of the captains will be seeking his master's in business starting next year. Chipped off the block and down by Barnett to open set 3.
I love that swing, too. Little Riley Salmon-esque. Sets a little bit low, just kind of slithers it into that wing blocker. Gets it to rattle the hands and go down for him.
Riley Salmon, gold medalist, and all-time slime at the net. Ace service, the float. And that was something Winder highlighted. He said, look, Gabe Dyer does some good things from the line with the float, just keeping us in the match. They're picking up the ace. That will be now 4 aces for the Waves. Dykstra dimes that one, but a confused offense gives Pep a chance again. Big man, right side, blocked, covered. Barnett right into our station, and that ball out of bounds. Hopefully, no worse for wear, number 14.
Just moving some furniture around.
Outside, roll 1, roll shot, not going to go. Conley gets the start here. Connell with a kill.
Barnett into the signage on the other side.
San Diego native out of Torrey Pines sends Barnett into the crowd for a second time.
Yeah, kind of a storyline lurking under the surface, I think, Kev, is Hartke still on 0 hitting efficiency for the Waves. They're winning. They're doing great. Barnett's carrying them, but they need their big fella to get going here in this third if they want to close out this match, I feel like.
Excellent point. Hartke with only 4 kills. He was tremendous a couple of nights ago against Grand Canyon, leading the team with 15 kills, hitting .367. Still looking for a little rebound. That ball out of bounds. Net violation is going to save. USC on that point.
Yeah, bailed out there, because that's another kind of wild, inexplicable mistake from the Trojans.
So a couple of Pepperdine errors. That was a 3-3 instead of perhaps a USC timeout early. Shoved right through the block. William Whidden. Just Whidden's 4th attempt, 2nd kill.
And we talk a lot about the middle attacks, but on 11 attempts, Watson, his counterpart, only 3 kills. It hasn't been great for the Waves.
It's too tight to the net. Wiped out of bounds. Well, if you're going to set it tight, Dylan Klein's your guy.
Yeah, that's exactly where he wants it for that exact reason. If he can't just go right over the top of you, he can throw it into your hands and out of bounds. Heads up play from Klein.
Reset swing. Paintbrush not going to go. SC with Klein out of the back row will be dug.
Oh.
You wanted to hit that, didn't you, Rich?
Yes.
Elevate, take a swing. How about this time? Hartke. Big man with the hands. Extended rally, right side attack. Blocked. Points it down, Ethan Watson.
Still struggling a little bit on the offensive connection, but makes up for it right there. Watson closing the block. Yeah, pretty far off the net, but it doesn't matter if you shape it properly, and Watson curling it in at the last minute.
So Connell in at that opposite spot here. Kind of a natural OH1 future for him. Has been getting time at opposite. 6'5" freshman. See if they go to him. It's tight to his side. No, long distance instead. Go through and down. Got another kill for Sterling Foley. That'll be Foley's 4th kill. He's still hitting under 100.
A good long distance set from the Trojans there, but I don't know they want to rely too heavily on that.
Pepperdine doing good work defensively as that ball is into the net again for the 13th service errors for USC. Just 6 for Pepperdine. Pepperdine defensively too. 33 digs to 27 for USC. Extending rallies and winning points. Student section all on their feet as they were last night for the 4th and 5th. Tight again, and off the block, out of bounds goes Connell. 3-time player of the year. He actually beat out Parker Tompkinson, his now teammate as CIF player of the year last year. Coming out of Torrey Pines High School, averaging almost 3 kills per set when he's in. Boy, what is this SC side going to be like in about 2 years? They're already exceptional. Big block again for the Waves. Barnett salutes the fans.
Who else but Barnett? There's a tremendous dig from Connell on the side of the Trojans, but just not finding much range at all, or Foley offensively for the Trojans.
For all the momentum, for all the feels here at home for the Waves, they lead by just 1 here in the 3rd. Been a tightly contested match, save a run late 3rd of the 2nd set, resulting in a 25-20 victory for Pepperdine's first set. Saw no one take a lead greater than 2, and it was Pepperdine doing it at just the right moment, 26-24. Olay on that one.
Yeah, just missing. Foley did not leave anything in the tank there. He went after it.
It's not far from Israel on up to Pamplona. Haber could go up there with that move. Nice dig, Haber in mid-back. Barnett this time shut down by Tompkinson.
That was a tremendous set, and I like the aggression on the swing from Barnett, but Tompkinson was having none of it that time. Like a darker hued Michael Cera back there.
Deep float serve. Arkey loads up underneath it. I'd like to set him a little higher and tighter at times, number 10. SC with the lead. Right side, Barnett, one-on-one, he wins that battle against Klein.
And he is just bombing away, high and hard, getting rewarded. Went after the kind of the weak parts of the block up high through the hands.
One service ace for number 14. He's got Klein right in front of him. Oh, that was close. Just long. Looking for confirmation from his staff, and their read was that it was out. Jonathan Winder nowhere near that green card.
Check the Hawkeye.
All right, out of the mid-back this time. How do you ride that in terms of a setting choice here for Gabe Dyer? You got one hot hand, you got some other people that are struggling. How do you decide when and when to go to the hot hand, when not to?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think you ride it until the wheels fall off, quite personally, but...
Are you looking for like a Randy Moss percentage here?
Yeah.
70% or something to him, or how would you gauge it as that ball flies out?
I think 70 is probably a pretty good number.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Why not ride it? Feed Haver a little bit. He's been swinging well for you, but you also have to kind of think about getting your big fella going. Arkey, if this match ends up continuing, you're going to need somebody to balance out Barnett.
So it's not the Randy rules as they had up in Minnesota. Now it's the Ryan rules.
There you go.
Here at Pepperdine. Very good.
The Barnett bylaws, if it were, Kevin.
11-11. We've hit the technical timeout in both the first two sets. Arkey did a ton of damage in set two. Connell, nice turn down the line. Connell career high 18 April 12th against Stanford. Had 8 in the fourth set alone, a 31-29 win.
And we're just going to see the kill. I don't know if we're going to see Riley go full splits and then just stand up a la Prince.
Oh, that was a definite lift in my mind. You can't grab and wipe against no block. Jonathan Winder's going to have a complaint here. He's going to tell Bill Forrester, you cannot grab the ball and then throw it without contact to the block.
That's a very legitimate point.
I think expecting a joust.
Yeah, it has to be one clean motion unless you get that contact and you can kind of redirect it.
Short serve. Passed perfectly. And blocked even better. Tompkinson reaching over and closing down the angle.
Yeah, he's starting to find the range, and unfortunately for Pepperdine, Arkey is not, just hasn't been able to find any space in the block.
Arkey in negative territory. USC in the positive. They lead by 3 in the third, but they do trail 2-0. Coming up, The Big Show delivers highlights, interviews, and complete analysis next on the Big Ten Network. Check out The Big Show as you're enjoying our show here, featuring a couple of talented outside hitters, Ryan Barnett of the Waves and Dylan Klein of the USC Trojans. We talked a lot about the youth. These are the experienced outsides.
Yeah, still with years of eligibility left, but the nod going to Ryan Barnett right now. Klein coming on a little bit in his third set, playing good for his squad, but still, it's at the Barnett show thus far.
Barnett in the back row for the Waves as they try and end the run here, and he will get the ball, and a rare miss. The USC is going to continue to run here now, 15-11.
That error, one of the very few we've seen from him, and he'll dip under 500 for the first time.
That now 4-0 from tied at 11 here in the third set. Feed the middle, and that will be the answer finally for Willie the Wave and Pepperdine.
Yeah, so going back to your question, how much do you feed Barnett? I think a lot. They've really been trying to force the ball into Watson. That's kind of one of the better connections we've seen with Dyer and Watson. We need to figure that out.
Watson, 14 attempts hitting 214. That's pretty low for a middle attack.
Very low.
Dykstra scoops. Oh, what a dig. How about that, standing in, Hartke. And another block. Tompkinson is asserting himself.
In transition, you got to go at either one of the wings. You cannot go at the big guy in the middle, Tompkinson. Look at the scoopy. Just have your paddles out there. Big fella.
11th block for USC as they get back to being themselves finally here in the third set. Thanks for joining us for the MPSF Men's Volleyball Championship. A berth into the national tournament at stake for the conference winner here. Devin Barnett alongside gold medalist Rich Lamborn. Waves leading 2-0. Trojans finally making a move here in the third. Barnett chisels and wins.
Again, that is a classy swing. Just going up, taking a little bit off of it, and rattling the high part of the block. Have a look. Just goes through the extended hands of Tompkinson there and gets rewarded.
National championship history. As we look forward to that national tournament, UCLA two-time defending champs. They'll be looking for an at-large bid. As Brendan Reed checks in and nearly pulls an ace into that gap.
That's a great pass from Dylan Klein. Tough serve into a gap. Legendary Carl McGowan used to say, serve a seam, serve an ace. Dylan Klein was equal to the task that time.
Rich Lamborn, quiz question for you. When was the last year that a team in men's volleyball won just one national title in a row?
That's a good question. I'm going to go with 2012, 2011.
Got it. And who was it?
I don't feel like it was a West Coast team. I'm going to go somewhere in the middle of the country, Ohio State.
A font of knowledge as a Scud missile exits the building and heads north towards county line.
Foley going full Dave McKenzie and thunder fisting one into the upper rafters.
That one did contact above the entryway to Firestone Fieldhouse. Left-hand reset, Klein. Pepperdine looking to take advantage. Back into the middle quickly. Dykstra digs. Back outside, Barnett trying to chisel, cannot. And a net violation and a raised hand from Parker Tompkinson, who's done so much good work in this third set.
Make sure we give a nod to Jacob Riley getting the dig on the cross-court shot from Dylan Klein. Excellent read, excellent pickup from the libero for Pepperdine.
Yeah, it's been an exhibition of young libero talent here as Dykstra again passes perfectly. And that ball's wailed out of bounds. Trojan errors creeping in. Maybe a timeout from Jeff Nygaard.
Maybe. I think the Trojans asking for a net fault, none detected. No challenge will be taken, but it will be a timeout, like you said, Kevin.
Timeout called by USC, who are trying to avoid being swept for just the second time in the season. Waves trying to do the sweeping and go to the national championship.
Gotcha.
USC with the lead here in the third set inside Firestone Fieldhouse on the campus of Pepperdine University. Pepperdine coming off a 3-2 emotional victory. Almost 3-hour-long match last night over the #1 seeded UCLA Bruins. USC would later dispatch the Stanford Cardinal in 4 sets. But that would be late night, not finishing until almost 11 o'clock here local time. Tight turnaround for them. They're trying to just hang on. Nice thumper there from Tompkinson out of the timeout.
Tall Tompkinson. Teeing off on that one, great connection out of the middle.
19-16, USC. Deep float again to the corner. Good touch. Guinness, not enough. A lot of action over here on this side of the court, Rich Lamborn.
There is. No thought for life or limb from these youngsters out on the court.
Barnett back to the line. His team in need of some service pressure. Not this time. Far more aces than errors for number 14. About the only bad stat in the bunch. Hartke trying to get going. Oh, that ball was out of bounds. Played anyway. Hartke. He'll finish it. Yes, he will.
And that's got to feel good for the big fella. It's been a while since one's gone down for him. It's kind of one of those nights where everything you're swinging at hits the block just perfectly and either goes softly to their side or comes right back to your side. He hasn't seen much positive offensively go his way, but that's maybe the start of something.
That one did go into the pinball machine that is the top of Firestone Fieldhouse, but cleared off into the crowd as Aiden Toon returns. Remember, good run with Toon at the line for the Waves last time. Cuts it cross court. Klein, good pass. More good work at the net defensively for the Waves. A chance. Hartke inside. Dykstra digs over. Barnett out of the back row.
Elated with that swing is Barnett. Full flex down, and rightfully so. That was hammered.
Pepperdine, a 6-2 run. SC once led 18-13. Their lead down to 1. Second serve for Toon. Klein elevates, Barnett digs. Tight for Hartke. Oh, hit that big man. Klein looking like he's playing four-man at 16th Street. And Hartke misses.
Tremendous read, tremendous pickup by Barnett in the backcourt. I like that Hartke's not really trying to do too much with that. He just kind of missed the mark. Just trying to roll it in, but can't quite control it.
21-19. This one has to be in if I'm Jeff Nygaard. Dylan Klein. Make sure that it's in. Pancake cover. Waves searching for offense outside of Barnett. Cannot find it. And SC is going to say that that ball was down well long ago in the rally. So the pancake is what's in question here.
Oh, I think that got spatula, Kevin.
Well, you have to get more than just the tip of the spatula. You have to get the whole thing. Guinness immediately saying that ball was down, that ball was down.
Can you challenge at the conclusion of the play? You don't have to whistle it kind of as the action happens?
Yeah, there's been a lot of different systems, right, for the challenge system, be it nationally, professionally, internationally. Most of the professional leagues international going to now you must challenge at the moment it happens or within 8 seconds. Here you can challenge the part of the rally. I think that ball's down.
Oh, do you really?
I do. I think it's in front of the fingers. But the question is, with the pause and the zoom in for Bill Forrester, will he be able to see enough conclusively here?
Ooh, yeah, that does look a little bit incriminating, even at less than HD.
Bill Forrester communicating with Ron Pelham, the R1. They are connected. A little shortwave radio action.
If we remember set 2, Kevin, there was a challenge that went the way of the Waves that kept their lead at 4 as opposed to 2. And that was critical to their success in set 2. Could this be the same kind of moment for SC here?
Great call, because as called right now, Trojans 21-20. It would be 22-19. Good advantage for USC, and that ball is going to be called down. USC celebrates. Caleb Blanchette has a few words to the net for the Waves, and the Trojans have a 3-point lead. Klein remains hitting service. Middle, blocked, back, and down. SC maintaining control of set 3.
Fantastic stuff. Out of the middle. Dennis, and a really nice job by SC, and in particular Dylan Klein putting that serve on the waves.
This time it's Guy Guinness in the middle with the big stuff block. The UCLA transfer making a difference for his Trojans as they lead in the third. Unlike Rich Lamborn, Willie the Wave has pasted on those muscles. 23-19. It's been USC with a strong performance here in the third. It hasn't dampened the enthusiasm by the crowd inside Firestone Fieldhouse, still cheering on their Waves who lead 2-1. I'm Kevin Barnett. He is Rich Lamborn. You are the volleyball fan watching the MPSF title match here on the Big Ten Network. 23-19 USC, and Klein goes to a float serve trying to catch the Waves unaware. Nearly did. That one's directly off the head of Connell and then put away.
Yeah.
Connell taking one for the team.
Yeah, good awareness from SC as well. There was a little bit of confusion how many contacts the Trojans had left on the Wave side. But it is one off the dome, doesn't count, so they've got 3 remaining. Trojans
Set
played
point,
it well.
USC to stretch to 4. Now he'll go back to the jumper. Klein. Love the aggression. Touch called. It'll be a second set point for the Trojans here. How aggressive will Cole Hartke be?
Kind of been the best element of his game this evening. That's his serve. Kind of nothing to lose here.
Got it. There's one.
Always helps to get a friendly redirect off the top of the tape.
Indeed it does. So timeout SC off of what was 24-19. Still plenty of room for the Trojans here. 24-21. Busy time in the spring for all of these student athletes. Many of them taking finals or completing the school year. Some of them going on to graduate. Congrats to the grads, to these masters, these athletes who are graduating. This was earlier today for Pepperdine. The Dyer brothers graduating, along with Racich, Roberts, and Hogan on the Pepperdine side. Congrats to these young men. It was 10 a.m. and pouring rain as they started announcing names for the graduate school, but it did clear up for the pictures and this afternoon.
Now, there might not be a better picture to take anywhere on a college campus in the United States than that right there overlooking the Pacific Ocean behind you.
Yeah, the entire stands will remain set up for undergraduate graduation happening next Saturday. Pepperdine usually on the early side of things. They've been on the early side of this match, winning 26-24 and 25-20. But they arrive here facing a third set point and still a substantial lead by USC. 2 service aces for freshman Cole Hartke. One of them coming moments ago. What more can he dial up from the line? Boy, if he had a cut, I would cut it straight ahead to kind of position, I don't know, 4-5? Maybe 3-4 if he has it.
You want the big fella to go a little teardrop right short middle?
Just slice it here, but I don't know if he has it here in his freshman season. Stays with the power. Right to Dykstra, dug up again by Barnett. No good swing to be had. SC for the set. Not yet. Too tight. Giles pushed through. And that missed contact will definitely be called. Trojans stay alive. (25-21) as it stands on the scoreboard, but Ron Pelham calling everyone back. And I think on that joust play, you're going to have some questions here. The crowd booing, but I think the crowd might get a result they like.
Yeah, it's hold your horses a little bit. Don't boo too early.
Bill Forrester and Ron Pelham with a little conference here as we unwind our score 24-21. And Ron Pelham wants nothing of the captains. In the stadium, it says 25-21 SC.
Fascinating to me how many challenges happen on set points. That's, I don't think, the play in question. That was clearly a double.
Yeah, I don't like this second contact, and I am not in favor of double calls generally.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you in most circumstances, but there is such a thing as egregious.
So Ron Pelham has explained it to both sides. Jeff Nygaard is still vigorously arguing with Bill Forrester. And I think telling him that he's going to file a complaint, perhaps with the commissioner, who's right over his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, this discussion makes me think this is maybe going to go the way of the Waves.
I would agree, given the body language of USC and the teams remaining on their sides.
Yeah, and the vigor with which Nygaard is getting into Bill there.
Well, Ron Pelham having none of it, vigorously pointing the other way. And now they'll try and clear everybody out again. So confusion reigned for Pepperdine on the end of that play at the end of this set. And now it reigns for Ron Pelham and Bill Forrester. Back and forth we go.
We are anxiously awaiting with everybody else to see what the call is going to.
Yes, just like those in Rome, we await the puff of white smoke in the finish here of the third set with the conclave that apparently has taken over to try and make a decision.
What color will the puff be?
What is the result of the first ballot here on the third set? And everyone remaining on their sides. And there's a joust. That's clean.
Yeah, were they suggesting that Foley follows through onto the Wave side of the net? I don't know that that's a violation. Have a look. His hand does kind of break the plane. But I think
well, this second contact is moot because if it clears the net, that is a terrible contact going over,
sure,
which you cannot do. You cannot double a ball to your opponent, whether it's the second or the third contact. So that is gone. Now, if a Pepperdine player touches it, that would be a third contact. You could conceivably let that second contact go, but then you could call Pepperdine over as well on that touch. So now Jonathan Winder has issued a challenge just to keep things going here.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
We all know this. We all know this. Jeff Nygaard may be on double secret probation. All right, no net contact there from USC. Now here's what I mean. The double contact here, that ball is going over. But is it then touched by number 12, Ethan Watson? And Pepperdine successful with the challenge after all that. All right, we're getting word from the scorer's table that an inadvertent whistle is going to actually end that rally. And we will play on at 24-21, perhaps.
That's the sort of referee way to wiggle out of a weird situation where there's no clear answer.
Can we get some hot dogs delivered here to the announce booth, please, as we take a break here? Often there is a intermission between the second and third sets. Here it was taken, intermission, at the end of the third. Pepperdine. Harkin to the line. Third set point for USC, and the ball never lies. USC fans.
All of the hoopla.
We'll re-rack it to 0 and start again fresh in the fourth from Malibu. Jonathan Winder wins the challenge but loses the set at the end of the third. 25-21, USC staves off elimination. Here's what was at hand. We got clarification from Ron Pelham. This second contact here is going to be a double contact that goes to clear the net, but the touch from Ethan Watson saves it. So Ron Pelham indicating that he did not call a double here. So play continued, but he did not think Ethan Watson touched the ball, and he had the ball on the plane. So upon review, there was a touch to the ball, which would be a third contact. So perfectly legal second contact. And then an inadvertent whistle when the rally should have continued. So that's why we had the replay, which then resulted in a missed serve, apropos of men's volleyball. And we play on into set number 4. In set 3, Pepperdine hit 0-8.
Well, yeah, if we look at the full match statistics, they're at 167, SC only 235. So neither team lighting it on fire, but still SC leading the way. And it's we've talked about Barnett and how well he's doing, still at 375. Everyone else for the Waves needs to pick it up, however, because those numbers, quite frankly, a little abysmal.
All right, so Waves searching for offense. On the other side, 9 kills for Dylan Klein, but he's just hitting 172. Parker Tompkinson doing work. 4 for 8, not a lot of offensive opportunities, but a huge effort at the net, a number of stuff blocks. Sterling Foley with 7, but he's under 100. Christian Connell subbing in and doing an excellent job. 5 kills, 286 for the freshman who was at opposite, and he will remain in the lineup, would be my guess coming into the set, and he does. In the back row, Guy Guinness back in as well. So the only change from the start for the USC Trojans is Christian Connell, the 6'5" freshman, number 13.
Yeah, Kev, if you're Hartke and Watson, you need to get it going for your squad. Minus 062 and 133 respectively.
All right, who gets hot here in the fourth set? And will we be headed the distance, or will it be the Waves headed to Columbus? Out of the middle, Guy Guinness collects kill number 1.
Flying high that time. Great connection out of the middle for the Trojans.
High ball, right side. Dug up, put back. High off the hands. Eli Haber.
Haber continuing to be fairly steady, just hitting 125. A few too many mistakes, but that's his 7th kill.
That'll be Haber at the line. Everybody serving right side from that side of the net, as it will find the net. Service error for Pepperdine. Interestingly enough, here at Firestone Fieldhouse, they've redone the floor, they've redone the lights over the last many years. There used to be a double light box right above that right-hand service position. It was very difficult to jump serve on that side. A lot of people would move over to the left. Now everybody stays on the right. Barnett off the net, will turn, reset, nice high swing. Dyer can't get the kill and can't get the delivery right either.
Yeah, and that connection, Dyer trying to force it. That's now 16 balls that have gone into Watson.
3-1. Pepperdine playing a lot of volleyball here. Remember going 5 against UCLA after defeating Grand Canyon earlier. USC having to buy into the semis. They have defeated Stanford in their only action in the playoff, as that one does clear. So how much will fatigue be a factor here for the Pepperdine Waves, and how much is it already a factor perhaps for all those numbers you were going through for the Waves at the pins? Yeah,
perhaps. I mean, Barnett, they're riding him pretty heavily, and understandably he's on fire, but somebody else is going to have to pick it up. Otherwise it's going to be a very, very long night.
When in doubt, hit it the middle. Watson nearly had that one.
Good high swing. Foley that time for the Trojans. Going up over the top.
Barnett from his shoelaces. Down ball coming, looking just like a drill there. Again, a misconnection in the middle, but it will be enough.
Wow.
Hang on.
Okay.
Ball called in by the line's person. Ball called out by Ron Pellin.
Hard from our vantage point to see if there was any antenna contact. I think that's what Pepperdine thought immediately because, oh man, I don't know. You see it wobbling a little bit. That ball is going to land in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Into the antenna. Jeff Nygaard, no green card in hand. Perhaps a break for the Waves. Would have been looking at 5-2. Ace service. Another float serve ace.
That's a tough one. When your big middle's in front of you and doesn't open up and just kind of ducks, you lose sight of it for just enough time.
Not too many footers in the league. This time he passes it. Dug by Pep. Barnett blocked.
Yeah. Tompkinson again. Starting to rack up those blocking numbers. He can close quick. That is a tempo set. It's just a two-step drop, and it's actually the outside blocker.
Yeah, Connell got that one. Put himself to the line. His team up one. Nice high delivery. That ball up into the pinball machine. SC does enough. Pepperdine, perfect transition, a little bit inside. Blanchette is dug. Dyer will throw that one outside. And it'll be down. A weird looking rally.
It's one of those nights too, if you're Hartke, because everything you swing at hard just seems to hit the Trojans squarely in their favor. You finally take a little bit off, it wiggles its way through the block and finds the floor.
Hartke 7 kills, but in negative territory still.
And you wonder if a little bit of the juice running out of the legs of Barnett at this point. He's carried a heavy load.
Barnett already with 37 attempts. You throw in all the jump serves and block touches besides. Set over, soft. That ball called down. No argument from USC.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort, great move, and a great read from Connell, but good shot. Haber.
San Clemente's own William Witten back to serve. Freshman middle blocker serve, freshman middle blocker kill. Tompkinson with another, and that will be 5 for him.
Watch the long limbs just extend to go get this ball. Good trajectory on that, great delivery from the setter.
Beautiful delivery outside. Tompkinson with the defense this time. A lunging, sprawling dig. Kept the rally alive, but it would be the kill from Haber, his 9th. He approaches double figures. He's been the only other reliable offense hitting 250.
Yeah, he's been a good balance for Barnett, and he's certainly bringing the energy when he kills those balls, which I think the Waves need. Keep going. It's Hartke back at the line again.
Tough play for USC. Pops straight up by the Waves. Barnett, a little Irvininga pet in him. That's kind of a gaff ball. Outside. Super sharp. Haber, 10 kills.
Haber feeling it.
And the fans feeling it now as Pepperdine takes the lead.
Tremendous angle. Kind of surprised Dillon still inside the 3-meter line.
Hartke, another ace.
That's been the saving grace of his game this evening. He's been consistently good from the service line, and that's so critical, right? When one element of your game is maybe off, how can you contribute to your team? And Hartke finding ways on a tough offensive night thus far.
He takes his 3rd ace, and he forces USC to take their first timeout. Already at 9-7 here in the 4th set. Waves again on the offensive. The power of the big freshman from the service line on display.
It's mine. Oh. You okay?
Yeah. You okay?
We're fine. My serve.
Maybe we should stop.
This Pinewood pickleball champ stops for no one. Huh? Whoa.
We got our melons checked. She had a concussion.
Admitting I was wrong.
Waves up 2-1, 9-7. Cole Hartke doing damage with this line-to-line service. The 7th ace for the Waves.
This is a good rotation for the Waves because you see Dykstra tucked all the way in position 1 in the corner there. Hartke likes to go straight ahead with it, so he can miss the libero altogether.
Ace to error is definitely the advantage for Pepperdine. Serving in their home gym. And it goes right to the libero, who passes it perfectly, and they side out. Coach Rich Lamborn remains frustrated.
Scratching my head, close to pulling my hair out at the roots. Why are we serving the libero so much? Both ways, as a matter of fact.
When there's plenty of open court, as you pointed out. All right, the hybrid of Caleb Blanchette out of Tennessee. Oh, what a delivery up high. Aggressive out of the back row goes USC. Pepperdine, a little home knowledge off the roof, looking for the touch, and they got it. Signaled by Connell. Smart call there by him. 10-8.
I think Haver knew that before everyone. He was in mid-celebration by the time our official signaled that there was indeed a touch.
Second-year Wave having an outstanding match. Now 11 kills, hitting .304. He is the source. Throw in 14 digs, a block, and a service ace to go with it.
Passing a lot of those tough float serves overhand as well for his team.
He got his ace on the roll, and he went for it again.
Yeah, easy to say this once that misses. I don't know that that's the time. You got to keep some pressure on the Trojans right now.
I think if you hit it well, any time's the time, right? If you hit that roll shot well.
That is a fair point.
There's the time right there. Nice save by Gabe Dyer. Right back outside again. Another good touch by the block. Dyer outside. Barnett stuffing it through. Legal in today's game. I don't think the Trojans have a leg to stand on in terms of holding contact. You go back earlier with the non-joust joust.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think we had Pepperdine arguing against SC on this exact kind of play, but Barnett did get a little contact, which makes that a legal kind of catch and push.
That's a Taylor Sander right there, special if I've ever seen it. Ethan Watson. Good float serve, keeps SC off the net. Another opportunity in transition. Barnett again, off the net, chopping down the line. Block! 3 men up, 1 ball down.
Yeah, that is a tough swing. Right there, Foley going low into a triple block. Trying to beat the inside blocker, closing late, but it's Barnett, and he closes beautifully.
Now keep in mind, USC now trailing 12-9. They've already used one of their timeouts. Jeff Nygaard doesn't have all the tools here as that ball comes inside and stays alive out of the net. Back to the back row again. Klein blasts it.
Right off the dome of Whidden. Luckily, he's got those beautiful curls to cushion the blow.
Little spring action there for Whidden. Guinness to Barnett. He'll get it over the top of Whidden. Little beach back set there, and it's off the block, out of bounds. Point Waves.
Yeah, aggression rewarded. Goes up high, goes up hard. Uses the block to his advantage.
When in doubt, just swing harder.
Yeah, as long as you keep it high, that is an excellent tactic.
So that ball off the block and called out of bounds. Jeff Nygaard now challenging. This is one other way to slow things down.
Yeah, these become de facto timeouts in certain situations, Brad. I think this is pretty clearly out. Yeah, I mean, it's very close, but that does look to be out.
I'm with you on that, Rich. I think that's enough of the ball clearance, even with the compression, to be out of bounds. Challenging in, out, USC and Jeff Nygaard. So we're waiting to hear here. Hopefully this challenge a little bit shorter than the last delay that we had at the end of the third set. It was Pepperdine 26-24 if you just joined us, and then 25-20 in the first two sets to go up 2 sets to none. USC rebounded 25-21 with the victory in the third to have us arrive here in the fourth. That ball confirmed out of bounds and will stay at 13-10. Pepperdine with the advantage. I'm Kevin Barnett alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn. Longtime national team members Jonathan Winder and Jeff Nygaard facing off at the head coaching positions for the Waves of Pepperdine and the Trojans of USC. Crosstown rivals. That ball down the line and called in by Ron Pelham. Jonathan Winder's going to let it ride.
I thought Dyer got that defensively.
I think the student section is going to try and take credit for that one. Service errors continue to pile up. 17 now on just 2 aces.
That's not enough return on that many service errors.
No, USC doing their best UCLA. And Barnett doing the same thing individually there. Whereas Cole Hartke has been so good from the line, but struggling offensively. Barnett good offensively, struggling a bit from the line.
You have the perfect yin and yang between the big sticks for the Waves.
Hartke, chance here. High delivery, throws it to the corner. They'll have to wrap around this one. And the kill from Dylan Klein. I'm not a huge fan of the set over. It's getting used way too much now. Everybody's so conservative. Take an approach and downball that thing somewhere.
Well, I mean, it does seem to be something that Hartke's a little uncomfortable with, kind of that step close, especially if he has to go inside. So I like, rather than making an error doing that, but I agree with you, it's far too conservative. And he's not putting the opponent in enough of a bad position.
Yeah, I'm not looking to get a kill out of that play.
Yeah.
But I would like to see that ball put somewhere with a snap via some good footwork and body control, to your point.
Yeah.
I'm just getting a little tired of everybody just setting the ball over and thinking they're going to destabilize the other side while they hang on to it for a second. Looking for the corner and finding it. How about that? Super sub, Brendan Reed.
That was a little Mariano Rivera slider to the corner.
The libero goes line this time. Dig by Barnett. Hartke wrap inside. He'll try and chip it, and he can't get around the ball. Maybe that's why we didn't see it earlier. He doesn't have the wrap around.
Yeah, we saw him miss one of those earlier. I like the attempt, to your point. I like the step close. He's not trying to do too much. He just happens to miss it. You know, that's going to happen to everybody here and there, especially if you're a freshman.
Right.
You're going to make some mistakes, but that is the more prudent approach, I think.
Yeah, Jonathan Winder having so many good words for his freshman opposite. As Ryan Sprague checks into the Manhattan Beach native and third-year Trojan. Barnett back row. Now, right to Rich Lamborn.
Get out of here, Kevin.
Yeah, so many good words from John Winder about his opposite who steps back to serve now, Cole Hartke. Did say, though, occasionally we get one of those freshman contacts. Kind of forget he's a freshman because he's so big and strong, even at 18. That 7-foot frame filled in already. He's going to be a beast 4 years here in Malibu.
That is astounding to think that that's an 18-year-old you're looking at on your screen.
Others of us looked like a pencil. Hartke, this has been his bread and butter tonight. Dykstra read that one. Over the top and down. Klein even impressing the home crowd.
Man, when that all lines up, it is impressive. explosive off the floor.
He's headed to one of those U21 teams. Reed Pretty going to be part of that coaching staff, we hear. That'll be some good training for a young outside hitter. Again over the top and again in, back to back from Dylan Klein.
Yeah, it's so wild because, you know, you spend so much time training your outsides in transition and try and get past the 3-meter line. He essentially just gets to the 3-meter line and has that two-step drop and elevate and detonate.
The all MPSF outside hitter has his team back to within one, 17-16. Pepperdine with the timeout. SC trying to stay alive in the board.
Being a cap.
Fourth set action from Malibu, California, inside Firestone Fieldhouse. USC and Pepperdine facing off in the MPSF title match. The Waves hosting this year, as has been predetermined, and just happened to make the championship. A pair of outside hitters have been outstanding in this one. As out of the timeout, here comes Hartke, and he is dug. Klein tipping over the top, and even a charging Jacob Riley can't get underneath the ball. Klein back-to-back kills to tie at 17.
Yeah, he's the hot hand right now for the Trojans, lifting his hitting percentage up near 300.
16 kills last night versus Stanford, 15 now for Klein. Getting a lot of production. There's Barnett on the other side. Do you go right back to him? He'll handle the ball, popped over. Hartke scooped into nowhere. The Bermuda Triangle strikes again in the left front.
Yeah, that is such a tough break right there for SC. Klein obviously emptying out, knowing that that ball wants to come to him. Yeah, the lineup right now defensively for USC against Hartke is pristine. I mean, everything he's swinging at, they are scooping.
Eli Haber blasting. Another dime from Dykstra. And another block by the Pepperdine Waves. Bring the crowd into it, big man.
Hartke whipping it up. Haber doing a nice job cracking that serve. None of the short nonsense here. Just keep ripping it.
Ron Pellin trying to calm everybody down. I want more talk through the net, not less. Come on, Ron.
I like it. I love Klein's demeanor out there with his dialogue. It's always so calm and collected, even if maybe the words are a little incendiary.
Pepperdine, perhaps 6 points away from a trip to Columbus. Left side attack. Dug up. Barnett feeling it. Scoring it through the hand.
That is such a good play defensively from Pepperdine. Low dig. Riley recognizing it immediately, stepping in and putting up a hittable ball for Barnett to tee off.
Timeout USC. A 3-0 run. Jim Nygaard able to conserve his timeouts till late in this set. He is now out, a passenger from this moment forward. Waves +3. Transition efficiency saved Pepperdine against UCLA last night. Here again, it's playing a big role. This is the last play, forcing the SC timeout. First the dig, and then the aggression.
Have a look there, doing what you like, just a little step close, taking a heavy cut, using the block to his advantage and getting it to rattle in favor of the Pepperdine Waves.
And that's a player who's feeling confident with his swings to take that cut there. 23 kills.
Also, who came up with the dig, Kevin? Eli Haber. Doing work at the line, doing work in the backcourt.
Yeah, Haber, 17 digs, 11 kills. Oh, and a service error there. Waves in control for the moment. SC certainly capable of coming right back. They are sad to see Dylan Klein go to the back row, but they'll be happy to have him at the service line. Klein, 2 aces tonight. That one's long. Pepperdine creeps closer.
Yeah, that's always a bit of a relief when things start getting tight. You see that one sail long, even though it's close. And now, who's coming in for Pepperdine, Kev? But Toon. This has been a good rotation for them.
Undoubtedly, his dad, Rick, tuning in out in Hawaii. Aiden, again. Putting pressure on SC. Klein, what a leap. Whoa. Tall buildings in a single bound.
I mean, that was a back row attack, ladies and gentlemen. That ball hit the 12-foot line. Yeah, phenomenal athleticism out of Dylan Klein.
Josh Friedman, pressure situation. Senior setter. Barnett overhand. They'll go right side, and it'll be a kill down the line. What confidence shown in Cole Hartke.
Yeah, and you gotta applaud the youngster for just staying on task, you know, just keeping his head down and grinding. Hasn't been going his way offensively tonight, but what a time for that kill up the line.
3 years since the last MPSF tournament title for the Pepperdine Waves. Looking to win it at home. Chicken wing is going to be burnt out of bounds.
Yeah, like in this arena, you never quit chasing it until it hits the floor. Because you never know, it might hit a light fixture and bounce back in play.
9 spots in the national championship tournament. 5 of the spots already taken, 2 at large. Will be awarded. Hartke over the top, dug up by Dykstra. That'll be a mishandled ball, but we're letting everything go. Into the net, Pepperdine 23, they're 2 away.
That was a tremendous dig from Dykstra. Had so much spin on it, it almost tore the fingers off of Foley, I think.
Crowd on their feet. Barnett so close to the line, hits it in. Where do you go? Out of the back row, 14, no. SC stays in touch, just close enough.
Tompkinson. Yeah, I think nobody was fooled. That wasn't Tompkinson, that was Foley, as a matter of fact. Nice job, all 3 SC blockers staying in there.
Just enough room for that. Second contact, joust, one push back. Weight room call.
Yeah, that was a tough push try from Dylan Klein. Watch how far he's got to get this. And that's great work from Hartke, shaping his hands around that ball, disallowing the wipe.
Highlight of the match. Sends the Waves to the match point. Win. To go to Columbus. The Waves are headed east.
Pepperdine Waves, your 2025 MPSF champions. How about that performance? It was a Barnett in 14. Could you be more excited, Kevin?
They say being at home matters. The Waves, the hosts this year, the number 4 seed coming in. Just 7-5 in the conference. They would go through the number 1 and the number 2 teams to earn the automatic bid to the national championship tournament.
And a gutsy performance, kind of knowing that that was their only route to the championships, was winning this tournament. The odds were stacked against them, as you said, having to face down not only the 1 seed, but the 2 seed, and getting the job done on their home floor.
Of